Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So today I'm going to show you how to get this very summery, glowy makeup look. And even though I'm normally a matte kind of girl, I really enjoy this look during the summer. As you can see, my cheeks are very glowy. I like to think of it as the controlled glow look where I'm glowing where I want to and just not looking like a disco ball all over the place. So if you are interested to see how I got this look, please stay tuned. So before I get started here, I just wanted to make note of a couple things. First of all, I apologize if the lighting is bad because it has been rainy and gloomy in New England every day this week, and I have no idea when the weather is going to get better. So it is cloudy, I have my ring light on, I have all the lights in my room on. I'm trying to make it as bright as I can in here, but my windows aren't really providing much light right now, so I apologize for that. Please excuse my acne. I know that some of you guys have been like, oh, you always talk about having acne, but I don't really see it. I've gotten really good at the years of covering it up, but right now it is really bad. I don't know why. I really don't know. I've been really stressed with lab recently, and so I think maybe it's stress related, also hormonal. Anyway, hopefully it will get better soon, but for right now we are working with it. That being said, even though I am doing a kind of glowy summer makeup look today, I am going to be using my 100% Pure Healthy Skin Foundation. Also, can we talk about how much of this I've used? I've used so much of this. But I need to use this foundation today, even though it is a matte foundation, to get the coverage that I need to cover this all up. There's some ways that I've found I can kind of make this look more glowy and more fresh for the summer, even though it is matte and full coverage on its own. So I'm going to start off by applying this 100% Pure Healthy Skin Foundation, and I use the shade Alpine Rose. It is the fairest shade that 100% Pure makes. And I like to dab this on and then blend it out either using a brush or a beauty sponge, but it depends on how much coverage I need as to which one I prefer. And today I need a lot of coverage, so I'm going to be going in with my MOTD Beauty in the Base brush because this gives me more coverage than a damp sponge. Also, I should note that you only want to apply this to small sections of your face at a time because it does dry fast. So if you get too much on your face, it'll dry in the spots and you won't have a chance to really work it out. So just keep that in mind as well. It's not perfect coverage, but you can see that I already look a lot better. My skin tone is really evened out and the redness of the spots is covered quite a bit more than it was before. I am going to be doing some spot concealing, but I love this foundation because it just gives me such good coverage and really helps to cover up acne. So if you have acne, I really recommend this foundation. I've started reaching again for my 100% Pure Long Last Concealer. And this is in the shade Alpine Rose, and it comes in a little compact like this, and it has a mirror, which I'm covering so I don't blind you. But I started reaching for this again because the powder foundation I'm using at the moment is a little bit too light for my skin, and so I have to make sure I'm using a really light under eye concealer, otherwise my under eyes look really dark compared to the rest of my face. But I have found that when I bake with the RMS Unpowder that I can actually get this concealer to work, so I've been using it. And I just reach into the compact with my finger, Just pick some product up on my finger and then I dab it on under my eyes. Damp beauty sponge and just dab this under my eyes to blend it out. The trick is you just want to dab, not smear. You don't want to move it all over. And also you don't want your sponge to be too wet because it is a little bit of an emollient concealer. If it gets too wet, then that gets all weird. So you just want like a barely damp sponge and you just want to really gently dab. And I actually focus my dabbing along the outside to blend it out because I want to keep the coverage, you know, on my dark spots the best. I just want to make sure it blends with my foundation and I don't have like a really clear line of where my concealer is and where my foundation is. Now I'm going to go ahead and bake under my eyes using my RMS Unpowder. I'll link the video of how I bake using this, so I don't have to go into too much detail. But even though I do want a dewy look, a very dewy, glowy look, I want to control, because I have oily skin, where the dewy and glowy is. And I don't want dewy under eyes. So if you have less oily skin than I do, you may not want to bake under your eyes, but because of how emollient this concealer is, and also just how oily my skin is, I really need to bake. Otherwise my concealer is going to leave me. And I have a long day ahead of me. I'm going into Boston to get my hair cut. And I'm gonna have coffee with a friend and then have dinner with another friend. So I need this to stay put for a while. Now I'm going to take my Hint Beauty Duet Concealer in Light and use this little eyeshadow brush to spot conceal on my face. I find that the 100% Pure Long Last Concealer does not really work that well for spot concealing. It just doesn't give enough coverage, so I much prefer a kind of more liquidy one, like this Hint one for spot concealing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. While I'm letting the concealer on my face dry a little bit and letting my under eyes bake, I'm going to go ahead and work on my eyeshadow. I'm going to start with my Lane with Pure Eye Primer. We all know how I feel about it, so that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to go in with the Han Skincare Eyeshadow in Sunset. I wanted something very kind of glowy, a little shimmery, but something that wasn't too bold because I don't want it to distract from the rest of my look today. I just want something that's very glowy. I like this color because it's not that far off from my skin tone. You know, it's not like super, I don't know, it's not super bold. It's not like a gold or bronze or anything like that. So I would go with an eyeshadow that's kind of that way for you. This one just happens to be for me, and it is a really great price and just a really great eyeshadow. It performs really well, and I'm just applying this to my finger. For the Teri Miyahira Under and Over HD Eye Setting Powder, I have been using this and just running this in my crease after I put on like my shimmery or metallic eyeshadow on my eyelid, and I find that just running through my crease really helps me when I'm blending out my crease shades. So yeah, I was kind of surprised and I've been liking this. And I'm going to pick up this powder on the Miss Shady Lady MOTD Cosmetics brush. And this powder is really, has a slight yellow tint to it, but it's more or less just a translucent powder. So it's not applying any pigment, but it just makes blending a lot easier because it's a really smooth powder. I'm going to pick up the Teri Miyahira Bronzer and Explore and run this through my crease with the Blending Bestie brush from MOTD Cosmetics. I know that not everyone has this bronzer, but what I was going to say was to use a bronzer with a slight shimmer to it as your crease shade. I normally don't use like any sort of shimmer eyeshadow in my crease, but I find that I really like this for this look because it's just a slight shimmer and it just gives like a really nice kind of glow to the eyes, but this is not too shimmery. You'll see what I mean when I apply it. So use whatever bronzer that you have that is similar to this and that it has a little bit of shimmer. And you're just gonna apply this right in the crease here. Can we talk about how easy that is? Like, look how just like put together my eyeshadow looks, and I used 2 eyeshadows. I'm gonna use one more for my inner crease, but still, that was really easy to do. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and dust the powder from under my eyes, and I'm going to just use my powder brush, and that is the Teri Miyahira No. 4 brush, and just dust this bake from under my eyes. Alright, now I'm going to just highlight my inner corner with the Root eyeshadow in the shade Sugar. It's just a white shimmery eyeshadow. You don't have to use white. I just use white because I'm really fair and I like the way this looks on me, but for deeper skin tones, I would go with something a little bit less intense. But we're just gonna highlight the inner corner there. Oh, and I'm doing that using the MOTD No Fudge Just Smudge brush. And then I'm going to go in with the Little People Expressionist Mascara. I really like this mascara when I want not as much drama as with the Root 100% Lash Mascara. That one is really great if you want a lot of drama, but I find myself reaching for this one for more kind of everyday looks. So yeah, I'm really glad. So Reagan from Indie Boo, she convinced me to go ahead and purchase it, and I am so glad that I did. So shout out to her for that one. I've been absolutely loving this. And the really great thing about this mascara is you can get it from Target or Whole Foods. And then, you know, lots of retailers online as well, but like that makes it so much easier to get a hold of. I noticed about myself recently was that I never curl my eyelashes. I used to, and then one day I was like, I don't know if this is actually doing any good, and then I stopped, and then I've never done it since, and I haven't missed it. So let me know down in the comment section below if you curl your eyelashes, how you do it, and do you think it actually helps? I'm very curious. Now we've gotten the eyes done, and now we're gonna move on to the face, and I think this is gonna be the really fun, glowy part. Even though I am using a matte foundation, I really find that to get a nice glow going on my face, I like to use cream face products. So one of the cream face products that I really like is this one from Ebates. This is our universal cream for lips and cheeks, and this is in the shade Love. And they have such cute packaging, like it's cardboard packaging, which I love because it's super sustainable. When you're done with this, you can very easily recycle this packaging. And it just looks like this. It's this little pink nub. I've tried it on my lips. I don't like it at all on my lips. I just don't. I don't like the consistency on my lips, but I love this on my cheeks. I got this one time from Petibor, like when I ordered something else, they, you know, if you order a certain amount, they would throw in like a free gift and I got this, which was really great. The thing I have to say about this cream product in particular is, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it looks kind of dry, and it is like, if I just touch it just like this, like it's dry, like nothing comes off on my hand, or very little comes off on my finger. So you really have to kind of get in there and like warm it up like this, which I know. And also you need to hold it from the bottom, because when you're doing this, sometimes it'll push the stick back down. You have to like really get in and kind of warm it up. But then once you do, you get plenty of pigment on your finger. So just a note on that, if you're having issues with this product, just make sure you get it warmed up. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So I'm just gonna kind of lightly dab this on. And because this is such a pink color, I really want to focus it on the apples of my cheek and not bring it too far back. Otherwise, it's gonna look like I have a rash going on. Also, on a note, do any of you guys like go ridiculous lengths to get your hair cut? Like, I go all the way to Boston. I mean, it's not super far, like, it's really not, I can hop on a train and go to Boston, but like, you know, it's like a day. Going into Boston is like, today is a Saturday while I'm filming, and it's just like, it's a day, you know, it's a day trip. I found this one guy in Boston to cut my hair, and he's basically like, just speaks to my hair. He's like my hair whisperer. And he's a 3rd generation hair cutter, and I just love him so much that I pay ridiculous amounts of money and go all the way to Boston to get my hair cut. Yeah, so if any of you do that or do something similar, let me know so I don't feel as bad about it. But I have super thick hair, and if someone doesn't know what they're doing, my hair basically just like stands straight out if I don't get it layered properly when it's cut. So I've had a lot of bad haircuts in my life. Anyway, so I am just very gently blending this out. I'm just doing little dabbing motions. I'm not going like because I don't want to move my foundation around. I've gotten questions about how this foundation works with cream products, so I thought this was also a good way for you to see in person how it works. Like, it is working really nicely. You just want to make sure that you're not like moving your foundation. You just want to dab. See, this has already given me a lot more glow to my cheeks than a traditional powdered blush would. So I really love using this when I want something a little bit more glowy on my cheeks. We're going glowy glowy. I am going to be using the Connie Botanicals Galaxy Milk. This stuff is freaking awesome. I love it. This is like the little size of it, which you can get the little size on Petit Bour. I highly recommend getting the little size because there's a lot in here and you only need a tiny amount. So you're not going to go through it that fast, but you do want to shake it. So you want to give it a good shake because it will separate just because it is a natural product. You want to make sure you get it shaken up really well. And be sparing when you go in with this. Like, be warned, you can look like a disco ball really fast if you're not careful. So, and also on another note, this stuff smells amazing. So when you use it, make sure to take a nice big sniff of it because it smells really awesome. And I just drop a couple drops on the back of my hand. And so what I do is, once again, take my trusty finger, I pick up a little bit, like, see, there's very little on my hand. I pick up a really tiny amount and then just start working it on to my cheekbone. Like I said, start with a really small amount and make sure you're blending really well. So just start small and do some finger blending. I like to take this, so I kind of like to do the haloing technique where I kind of take it up towards my eyebrow. I just think that looks really nice for whatever reason. I don't particularly know why. So I just kind of go up towards my eyebrow, and I just think that gives me a really nice looking glow. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Which for some reason, I always find highlighting on this side harder because I'm reaching across my face and I feel like I can't ever find my cheekbone. I don't know. This is weird issues of doing makeup and having one side always turn out better than the other. Does that happen to you? Is that just me? So as you can see, we are glowing. Like, I was not joking when I said we'd be glowing. I'm also gonna take a little bit of this and apply it right on my cupid's bow very lightly, just to give my cupid's bow a little definition. Also, you can, if you are a nose highlighter, you could put it on the end of your nose. I just think it looks really weird, and it was just kind of weirded me out a little bit. I just don't want to draw attention to it. But I am going to put a little bit on my shoulders because, you know, why not? I've got an exposed shoulder shirt today. Can blind everybody with my highlight on my shoulder. We're gonna do something a little bit unusual. I'm sure you guys have noticed if you watched any of my videos, I have not powdered my face yet, and I always powder my face, so it is coming. So I have a sample of the Root loose powder foundation. It has a weird name, I can't remember it off the top of my head. I will of course link it down below. I have it, so I put a little swatch of it here on my hand. I'm trying to move it so you can see, but this is the highlighter I was applying from the back of my hand up there. But this does have a bit of shimmer to it. Like, if you get it and look at it in the light, my swatch is really just not doing it justice, but it does have glitter in it. Like, you can see like reflection. It's not a super matte powder. So when I do want a little bit of a glowier look, this is really great to use. That being said, I have the sample in N1. I just ordered it in N2. I also had Cool One, but Cool One was too pinky. Sometimes I do have cool undertones, but sometimes like cool undertones, they take it like to an extreme. And that one was like not the right, it just was not the right undertone for me. And this neutral one is a little bit light on my skin, which is why I went in with a really light concealer under my eyes, because otherwise I'm gonna look kind of crazy when I do this. But I do like this powder for when I want a more glowy look. So I'm just gonna powder on my face, and I'm gonna powder like near where I put my blush and kind of blend it up into it, but I'm not gonna powder completely over the blush. That way the blush does stay kind of glowy looking. So just what we're doing. But as you can see, it's just not as flat as most powders are. If you're like me and you really need to powder your face, but you don't want something like completely matte, I really have been liking the Root powder foundation. Although I would say definitely get samples, because this is just a little bit, you can see it's like a little bit light for me. I am going to go ahead and apply a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to be using my Teri Miyahira bronzer in Explorer. I'm just going to take this really lightly. Yeah, you just need the smallest amount, but we're just gonna go really sparingly with this because this is a little dark for my skin tone. But yeah, just use whatever bronzer you used for your crease and just bronze up your face slightly. Or, you know, if you want, you don't have to. Or if you have a cream bronzer, you could also do that. I just do not have a cream bronzer. So I can't do that even if I wanted to. And I also like doing this too because I find that it helps to blend with my my blush and just get that all looking nice and blended. But that's also why putting a little bit of powder on is helpful, because it really helps these it helps the bronzer blend. If you put this directly over, just straight on top of a cream product, it definitely is more difficult to blend. We're almost there, I promise. We're in the home stretch. So now I'm going to go in with the Honest Beauty brow filler, and I use the shade Warm Auburn. It's not super auburn, I don't know why. But what I like to do is just fill in my eyebrows a little bit with this, and then I go in with the 100% pure green tea fiber brow to kind of set my eyebrows in place. I find that the green tea fiber brow alone just doesn't really fill in my brows enough, but I like the combination of these two together. It works really well and it lasts well throughout the day. So. Step some lipstick, and I wanted to go with some sort of kind of more of a lip cream lip glaze. So my two options here are the Modern Minerals lip cream tint, and I have this in the shade July, or the 100% pure lip glaze in the shade Elderberry. Looks like this. I'm actually going to swatch both of them here for you so you can see them side by side. They're actually very similar in shade. They remind me a lot of each other. So here is the Modern Minerals lip cream tint in July, and here is the 100% pure lip glaze in Elderberry. This one, the one in July is a little bit more pinky. The one in Elderberry has a little bit more of a reddish tone to it. I'm actually kind of feeling this lip cream tint today. I think it'll go really well with the blush color I have. So gonna apply this, and why I like this is it's more of a sheer kind of glossy wash of color, but I can't talk and do this at the same time, but it wears really well on the lips. It lasts a long time. Also, this is gonna be really easy to reapply when I'm in Boston, you know, because I just need to do it like this. I hope you really enjoyed this summer glowy makeup tutorial, and if you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Also check out some of my other videos, you might like those as well, and be sure to check out my Instagram. I'll have my handle down below. I'm at Naturally Beautiful Girl. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!